Here we go. Welcome to another edition of This is Mappa. I'm Stel. I've got Thasso here. Thasso, welcome back, my
Hello.
friend. How are you?
Hi, everybody.
You good? How are
Ah,
you doing?
I'm fine. Had some football to watch this weekend. Plenty of football to watch, and something happened on Sunday. I don't know.
I don't
Don't know
know,
if you heard.
some big game. I don't know. I
No.
don't know. I don't know what happens in December anymore. I don't know. Christmas,
Uh,
football. I don't know. Well, Thasso, we have a very special guest here, a
yeah.
gentleman who a couple of weeks ago made a bit of a highlight reel with a little bit of a strange decision that he made, but we'll discuss that later on. It's Joel Mal, not Mol. It's
Yes,
Mal.
exactly.
Joel, welcome
Hello.
to the show. How are you doing?
Welcome. Thanks for the invitation. I'm very good. I'm very good. Thank you.
Great stuff. And you're back in training now. Are you ready for this? Well, I mean, there's only one game before the break.
Yeah, but it's also a short break. It's only one more game, but we start to play on 2nd or 3rd of January again. So I will fly home for 4 days. Not too long. Not too long break.
Is it a shorter break than usual? I can't remember it being this
Nah, no, it's quite
short.
normal. I think for us
Yeah.
players, it also depends. If you play, I mean, some games are already on Wednesday, I think. Some are on
Yep.
Thursday, and we play on Friday. So if your game is on Wednesday and you play on the 4th, or it depends on the schedule. But it's always like this. Since I am in Cyprus, it's quite more or less like this.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. I know you played at Aarau in Switzerland before going to
Yes,
Grasshoppers Zurich. One of my friends used to play for Grasshoppers, Pascal Zuberbühler, the goalkeeper. I don't remember
yeah,
him from back in
of
the
course,
day.
of
And
course.
when you're at the club, you had Philip Senderos there, if I'm not mistaken, and also Kim Kallström, Swedish
Yes,
midfielder. Very good, two
yes.
very good players that ended up at Arsenal. Can you talk to us about your career as a youngster, becoming a goalkeeper? Were you always a goalkeeper?
Yes, more or less. I was started early with goalkeeping due to my height, and also I liked it. Yeah, I started in Aarau, did all the youth teams there, and went straight to the first team very, very early. I think with 16, I was more or less in the first team. Started to play with 18, and then had a big injury, but came back and. Yeah, we made it to go up again in the first division, and then I played there 2 seasons and changed to Zurich. Played there 2 seasons, then went to Germany, and from Germany I went to Cyprus. Yes, that's more or less the story.
So your move from Grasshoppers, you went to Darmstadt. And if I'm
Yes,
not
exactly.
mistaken, the head coach at the time was Thorsten Frings. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Yes.
What was he like? Because we know how well he did at club level, and let's get it right. You had players like Kevin Grosskreutz there. You had Medojevic, who I believe is at AEL right now,
Yeah.
and Hamit Alintop, who was a very good player.
Yeah, our squad was unbelievable. I mean, a lot of all stars, a lot of experience, a lot of characters. For me, it was huge to play there. Yeah, many more. I mean, Jan Rosenthal, many more, and also the coach. I mean, it was fantastic to be with him. Special experience. He was new as a coach. I think it was. And he had to find his way. I mean, to like being a coach and not too much of a friend and a player, and this was sometimes difficult for him, but I liked his style a lot. And in the beginning we were very successful, and then how football is, it changed very fast, and I think after 6 losses or something like this, he lost his job. But nevertheless, for me it was a nice experience to work with a personality like this. And yeah, but a good player is not a good coach immediately. I think he needs to make his experience. But I was very happy to work with him. Yeah.
You probably know this more than anyone, but the role of a goalkeeper has changed over the years. Before
Yeah.
in the 80s and the 90s, you had your Peter Schmeichels, your Dino Zoffs, your Walter Zengers, all these great goalkeepers. And as time progressed, I think the first goalkeeper that I can remember playing with his feet was Fabien Barthez, who was at Marseille and the French national team, then Manchester United. How have you seen the role of a goalkeeper changed since you started playing professionally?
I think my generation was the first one where the feet were more important. Especially in Switzerland, we have a high quality of goalkeeping coaches, and we were like early adapters to all these topics. The education and the goalkeeping school is very, very modern. We started early with taking or putting the focus on distribution a lot, and now it's even more. It's a big part of the game now. Nevertheless, you should not lose the focus. What is the main job of a goalkeeper is to save balls. Some coaches lose their focus on this and prefer to only he has amazing feet, but at the end you have to save the ball with the hands. This is still like this, but nevertheless, the job goalkeeper has so many different aspects, and of course distribution and attacking or helping the team in the attacks is one of them.
So who did you look at, idolize when you were growing up as a goalkeeper? Was anyone in particular, any goalkeepers?
For me it was always Van der Sar was like the big idol, because I followed not too many games, but he's the one in my head. And then when I started to become a pro, I followed a lot of Benalio. Was like I met him. The former Swiss national team goalkeeper. Then he became like my idol. And then if you are in professional football, then you don't have idols. I think then you just watch goalkeepers and you try to take some things from every goalkeeper. And so it is until today. I have some goalkeepers I admire. Some goalkeepers I only think, oh, this part is very good, this part I don't like at all. But this is now how this is.
Brilliant. Okay, so in 2018, you moved to Buffon, the Buffon Revolution. I'm not sure how much you knew about Buffon then. I mean, you look at the squad there. A lot of those players probably aren't there anymore, in all fairness. Yeah. But you had Zeljko Kopic as your head coach, and it didn't start off too great. If I'm not mistaken, was it 5 losses in the first 6 games? But then after that, you beat Omonia 4-2. And then it kind of swung things around. The rest of the season, you beat Omonia 1-0. You beat Apoel 2-1. You even got a draw against Anorthosis. First of all, what can you tell us about that move to Cyprus? Because I speak to many players, and some of them say, well, I didn't really know too much about the Cypriot League. I wasn't sure what to expect. But I visited the club. I spoke to the president. I saw the facilities. I saw the weather. And that kind of made people want to go there. So what made you want to go to Cyprus? And did you know anything about Buffon in the first place?
To be honest, no, not too much. And it was more or less at the end of the transfer window, or because in Germany, we already started a long time with preseason. And I could just see that I will not play in Germany. And that's why, I wanted to play. And I wanted to find a solution, and then the offer came. They invited me. They showed me everything. They promised me a lot of things, which still outstanding until today. But you see now they improved a lot, but they needed 4 years to fix the organization. For me, it was a step in a new world, but I was ready to do it. Of course, I don't want to lie. The weather, the conditions, the financial aspects were also pushing, and I was clear number one. I could play. I had I was ready for this adventure.
So,
but yes, with not a lot of knowledge about Cypriot football. Yes.
So what about kind of, because I guess there must be a little bit of a culture shock as well, because coming from a Western European nation, being dropped in Cyprus can be quite daunting at first.
Yeah, it is indeed, because okay, you have well-organized clubs in Cyprus, because now after in Apollon, I saw it's more or less similar to good clubs in Europe, but this time Paphos was just not organized. I mean, it started with basic things like a towel or water in the training, or socks or physio, stuff like this, which problems I didn't had before. And they needed also to realize, oh, what we cannot just put in money and think we're gonna win the championship. It's not easy like this. And step by step they improved, I think, and now the situation changed a lot. But yeah, it is in Cyprus. It is in many teams. It is not. Such, or the facilities, or the organization and everything around it is not the same. You have to see this and accept this as a player.
And what about kind of life in general? Like how did that affect you? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, okay. When it comes to life, Cyprus is amazing. There's no doubt about this. It is an amazing island. It's so beautiful. The weather is amazing. The people are nice, and I am thankful, and I am happy to spend years of my life in Cyprus, and I appreciate this a lot. And yeah, of course, this is a big plus for every footballer here. Yeah, nevertheless, the football is on a very high level.
Joel, looking at Buffer at this moment in time, we know that they started the season very well, and then they drew against you guys. Actually, it was a draw against you guys, and then a loss against Apoel, a draw against Aris. When you look at the infrastructure at Buffos now, do you think there's anything majorly different from before? Because for me, it seemed that there was always a plan from Dubov. There was always a plan to, whether it be improve the facilities or to produce players or find players and then sell them on for big money, as we could see with Valakari in the future, because I know he signed a new deal, but let's talk about him possibly leaving for big money. Did you notice any project there when you first started at Buffer, and do you see that being a continuation of it now?
I think, yeah, the plan was there. I mean, we spoke about the new stadium, we spoke about the new training center, many things and some things were there. I mean, there was a new dressing room, but no, the physios didn't have things to work. We had problems with the gym a lot. The things were not delivered, so we could not work. Some things which I think now there are no problems anymore. They started to solve these problems. I think they started to put people with football knowledge. That's the main or the main thing you have to do. I mean, I think there are people with money, and Roman is an amazing guy. I mean, but I don't know how deep he is in organization, in football, in building a team with not only, okay, this is a good player, give him a decent contract and he will come and we will be good. So is it the right for our team? He has this strength, this abilities. I think now they have people, who are more into this, and also the transfer style, I think, changed. Before they used to take ex-Premier League players with a high contract, and obviously, I don't want to say this in general, but if you take players like this and they come from this high league to Paphos with a good salary, it's more or less just finishing the career, enjoying life. And I don't know if they have the ambitious, or if it's so important for them that Paphos is going to be champion. And now they change. They take young, hungry players, and you see the difference now. Step by step they improved, and this year is the first year, which I think they will play on the top 3.
They brought in Mendieta as a sporting director.
Yes.
And Salgado is there in some capacity as well.
Yeah.
Now, how important is it to have a sporting director, and especially with someone of that magnitude? Because when it comes to signing players, I understand that Cyprus might not be the most attractive place to go because obviously it's not La Liga, it's not the Bundesliga, etc., etc. But when you have someone like Mendieta at your club that represents the club, so when a player does come to Cyprus, you say, look, this is Mendieta. Mendieta shows them around. Is that a big advantage to have?
Yeah, of course. This is making a good impression. If you see people with a career and with knowledge and with behind, then this is a big plus. Of course, of course, it is not easy for Paphos to convince players on a high level. They can do it with the finance. I mean, they can pay very well. This is something they can do, and if the young player has or accepts this, I mean, then they have this possibility.
Okay, so a year later, you go to Apollon, and that squad was pretty strong. You had Zalai, who's now in Turkey, I believe, is at Fenerbahce, doing very well for the national team. Roberge, who's now playing for Cyprus. But then there was the likes of Babuli, there's Hambo, Bitas, Poljaric, Markovic, and Psichas, who are now at Olympiacos. But you were there when Vukomanovic, I believe, was head coach. Is that correct? Was it Vukomanovic who was there?
Not a long time. It was a few weeks. I mean, they sacked Sofronis. They
brought
put
this guy,
and then they took back Sofronis again. So the time with him was very short. I don't know. It was 5 weeks. 5 weeks.
5,
like
yeah,
that,
if
6
that.
weeks.
If that, yeah. So Sofroni comes in, Augusti, also known as the Gatto, the cat, right? And what do you make of him as a head coach? Because let's get it right. Since Apollon, he was at AEK with you. Your first year, you only spelled AEK. He was at Apoel. Now there's a strong chance that he might end up where Thasso. Where they're talking about him going now, Karmiotissa.
He's at Karmiotissa.
Yeah,
they announced it last week.
Yeah. So what is it about this head coach that he continually gets jobs? Because at this rate, he will have coached almost every team. I think it's only Omonia that he hasn't coached now, and Anorthosis maybe.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he is one of the best coaches in Cyprus. I mean, of course. I mean, he has a passion and for football, and as a player, you just love him. You just love him. He can make you fight and die for him on the pitch because he's this positive, emotional character. And of course, the last stations, maybe he was not too successful. But for example, in AEK, it was impossible for him to be successful because he didn't have his players. And when the new sporting director came, it was obvious they didn't plan with him. And sometimes in Cyprus, it's not always easy to work as a coach. In Apoel, I don't know. I don't have any insights in Apoel, but there were also good periods there. It's just after you get sacked in AEK in Apoel, it's not too easy, and I think now he will take a new try, and I think he has the possibility to go up again, of course.
You said that he's a great man manager and great at motivating players, and that's a fantastic attribute to have as a coach. But from a tactical perspective, is he as good as people say he is in Cyprus? For me, I think from a defensive side, he's brilliant. He'll get bodies behind the ball. He'll know how to counter-attack. He knows how to use the pacey players. But maybe, I don't know, last season, I think Apoel got a little bit unlucky with the title because Apollon drew a whole heap of games and lost a few games. Whereas the one game where Apoel could have or should have won to possibly go on to win the title was at Apollon. It was one goalkeeping mistake and that effectively cost them. But what was he like from a tactical perspective?
Yeah, I mean, this is also something maybe not only about the head coach. A head coach is there to yeah, of course, for the tactics, but you can have your stuff. You can have a lot of tactical impacts from your assistant coach and from these guys, from the analysts. But of course, he has a tactical knowledge which is very high. I don't know if it was always the right way to work with every team, but this is how every coach. Sometimes there he is successful with this way, and then another place he is not. Yeah, and up to work in Upwell as a coach is not too easy, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm guessing it probably wasn't easy at Apollon as well. Apollon, undoubtedly one of the biggest clubs in Cyprus. You went there, obviously coming from Buffer, where I'm guessing the pressure wasn't as big at Buffer as it was at Apollon. Is that right? Would you say that there's more pressure at Apollon than at Buffer?
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, in Paphos there was. This is not arrogant or something, but the pressure was not there. I mean, if you come from Germany and after a defeat, you can barely walk in the streets because everybody will speak. Everybody knows, and in Paphos at this time it was just not like this. I mean, and then Apollon, you can see the tradition, you can see the more people, and it affected much bigger circles than in Paphos, of course. And so also the pressure is higher. After or in a bad period, the spectators came to Colossi, and then okay, now it's better to perform. And yeah, this is more like the football I knew from before. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the scenes at the Tsirio between Ireland and Apollon a couple of weeks ago, where the Apollon players were going back to the dressing rooms, and then they had fireworks and stones and all that thrown at them. When you see stuff like that, as a player yourself, does it make you feel like, why am I here? Why am I playing in this place, in this country?
Yeah, this is something I was very angry about, because I also have family and I want to bring my family to the stadium, but no chance I will bring my kids to the stadium. And I don't know why this kind of fans, they don't see that they destroy the Cypriot football. And you can be passionate, you can be emotional, but this kind of things, I don't know why this is kind of a thing here in Cyprus, that I don't speak about the general people, because yeah, you see everybody is loving football, everybody is watching football, but the main culture in the stadium is very, very negative. Instead of supporting your own team, is a big negativity against the referees, against everything. It's more, instead of supporting, it's more insulting culture. And yeah, sometimes this is normal or can be motivating, but yeah, when it ends up like in stuff like this, I have no understanding for this, and this is destroying the beautiful game. Yeah.
Well, we spoke about the incident at the Tsirio at great length a couple of weeks ago, and you're looking at that new stadium, the new stadium that's been built, the Alpha Mega Arena, and it looks very nice. I saw the presentation and all that, but again, when you see scenes like that at the Tsirio where they've got the running track, and you're thinking, how did the fans get onto the running track so easy? And then you look at the new stadium, there's no running track, and look how close the fans are to the pitch. That again, that's got to be a concern. I'm not saying this to cause trouble or stir trouble, but when you see that kind of thing happen, I don't know, it's a bit strange.
It's very strange. And yeah, I think they tried to solve this problem with the fan card to like a little bit yeah, but this year it started to be worse again. And I didn't understand this fan card when I came to Cyprus, and I say, why is this a problem? I mean, I cannot even imagine. And now I see maybe, yeah, I don't want to say it's a right decision, but there need to be a change, because yeah, it's this is a danger that the normal people will not go to the stadium anymore, and this is just sad.
Yeah, I think
What's the
that's
worst thing
something-
you've seen on the pitch? What's the worst thing you've seen on the pitch? Like, you've been in goal at a game. Is there anything that you remember, the worst thing that you've seen?
On the pitch, I don't see. I mean, if they insult me or throw, throw things, this is not even bothering me too much. I'm just worried about my family in the stands, to be honest. And this is more. I mean, they can insult my mother however they want. This is I really don't care about this.
It's just words.
If it's violence in the stadium, then it's bad. And sometimes around the stadium with the police and everything. I to the big games, I would never take my kids. So this is very, very, very sad. Yeah.
I think it's something that we've discussed at length and kind of beating our heads up against the wall about, because a lot of the we're talking about who's at fault, and it seems to be just everybody involved in the whole process, whether it's the fans, the clubs, the police, the FA. There's a lot of people involved in the decision processes on how to fix this stuff, and they're all making the wrong decisions. At least I think from my end, and probably your end still.
Yeah.
Joel, I'll give you an example. I was telling Tasso this last week. I came to the cup final, Omoni against Ethnikos, and I took my fan card. I didn't have one before, but a friend of mine helped me get one. And I went to the stadium. I showed them my ticket. I showed them my fan card, and they said, "Go in." Now, it was a little lady. She must have been 55, 60 years old. Now, I'm not going to cause trouble. I'm going to watch a game of football. But if you have 100, 200 fans with balaclavas, what is a little old lady going to do to stop them from getting in? Oh, show me your fan card, please. Okay, you can go in now. They're just going to go, aren't they? They're just going to let them go. So I think the responsibilities is, as Tasso said, it's everyone's. But I think the clubs have got a strong responsibility for this. That's my opinion.
Yeah, for me also. I at the end, the clubs need to be responsible for these people in a way. I mean, if they start to, I don't know what they're gonna do with this game, but how I know it is in Europe. I think if the fans from one team do a lot of bad things, they can just give the game to the other one with 3-0. I don't know what they do with the derby now, but yeah, if they start to do things like this, maybe the clubs start to take more responsibility.
Yeah, possibly. Well, look, we've gone on a different level here now. But before you move to AEK, can you tell us any fond memories about your time at Apollon? I know it was only a year, but was there anything that really stood out for you, like good memories?
Apollon was amazing for me. I mean, we played the European qualifiers against Eindhoven. This was, of course, two big games, and we were not too bad. The results were bad, but we were not too bad. And we beat Austria Wien. We beat. We survived 3 rounds, and this time there was no Conference League. Otherwise, we would be in Conference League. It was, and then Corona came. And then my injury came, and Apollon was over too fast, for me, of course, because it's an amazing club, and probably my best time in Cyprus until now.
Well, you had players like Bitsa and Hambo, and obviously we mentioned Robertson Spogliarits. Bitsa has been, in my opinion, carrying Apollon this season. He's still fairly young as well, isn't he? Did you see a quality player in him when you were there?
Yes. I mean, when I played in Paphos, I think he played for Paralimni on loan. There I met him or started to know him. And then, in the preparation, I remember him saying, I will never get the chance in Apollon. I can do whatever I want.
Really?
It was desperate, really desperate. Same with Danilo Spogliaric, and now look where they are now. But these guys, they have a fantastic mentality. They work before the training, after the training. They, you see, they really want it, and that's why they made. I mean, they made it until that where they are now. They can make it. They can make a much bigger career. Yeah, but it's just like the young Cypriots should take an example about these two players, because. Yeah, they didn't came until there because of their fathers. Not only, I mean, they have maybe a little advantage, but they worked for it. They worked for it. If you see in the gym before the training, it will be Spojaric and Pitas working, and this is something slice where young Cypriots can watch up to. Yeah.
Well, he's 26 years old now, Pita. And while Apollon fans probably won't like me to say this, perhaps it's time for him to go to Europe to maybe play for a Bundesliga 2 club, or even maybe a mid-table Bundesliga club, or because I don't think there are enough Cypriot players playing outside of the Prodathli, in my opinion, anyway. Obviously, Johnny's is in Kansas. We've got.
But the problem is it's just the big leagues, they will not look at Cypriot league. I mean it's difficult to make a big step from here. The good thing is they have is the national team is a big window for them. But you could see like the example with Salai. Without the Hungarian national team, he would never make this step to Turkey. Never. Because the Turkish, they don't watch the Cypriot league. It was because of the national team, and then maybe because of this they started to watch the player. But it's just the step out from Cyprus into the Central Europe is very difficult. I don't know many players who made it. I mean, now Fanos Katelaris is playing in Belgium.
Yeah, I was going to say you need to be a central defender. We've got three central defenders in Belgium right now.
Life is life is
yeah, but then it's also
in Portugal, wasn't he? I think
but he didn't play a lot there. I don't know. But also Caro. And then I think this is also you have to have an agent who is pushing the players or the scouts to watch him, because the scouts will not see him in the stadium here. It's they will not watch the Cypriot league. That's how it is. Man.
I think that's also why it's so important that Cypriot teams do well in the Europa League or the Conference League, because we've seen AEK qualify. So hopefully AEK will, blood some young, but then again, there aren't that many Cypriot players playing for AEK right now. I know Naum is there, Mamas is there, but they're not really playing regularly. It's mostly, Faraj, who's fantastic, and Romo and all these other players. So, but let's see. Are you got any more questions, Tasso, before we move on to AEK? Very quickly.
No, we can carry on.
No? Okay. So you go to AEK, and if I'm not mistaken, that was roughly when Xavi Roca rocked into town, so to speak. Is that right?
Before.
Was Xavi Roca
before. I mean, I had to leave, or because of my injury, I was off the list in Apollon. And then in the winter window was a new coach, because they sacked Sofronis. They needed to make or wanted to make 4 transfers, and they already had they brought Jova already this time. And then there was like, we need to make 4 transfers. It's unlucky for you. And this was a big disappointment for me. But luckily, Sofronis signed in AEK, and he needed a goalkeeper. And then I did. We found a solution, and I went to AEK. But then 2 months later, Xavi Roca came. But this was obviously not good for me and for Sofronis.
Well, this is it, because you mentioned Sofronis again. It's like you could tell that the players love him for you to want to go back to play alongside him or play with him. But AEK, while they're I wouldn't say they're a huge team. They're a pretty average sized team in Cyprus, and they've got a lovely stadium, and they won the cup a few years ago. But you play with people like Triskovsky and Agoran. Agoran was fantastic. Flori Dolmes. Again, back to the pressure situation. You had Buffo and then you had Apollon. Do you think AEK were kind of in the middle of the pressure when it comes to, let's say, Apollon and Buffo in the middle? Yeah,
maybe in the middle. But to be honest, this time, because I already came to AEK and they were in a bad situation, let's say, or they were not happy. And I think how it is in Cyprus, the spectators, if the things are not so well, they don't show up. And the stadiums were not full. And even after I left AEK, and I could see, okay, when they were more successful, there were a lot of people, but when I was there, I couldn't feel this, to be honest, and therefore I felt pressure from outside, not too much in AEK.
I think they were still in the HCC as well, weren't they? So they would have had the running track again around the stadium, so you had the fans really far away.
In AEK, no.
No, were they already at the arena?
At the arena,
right. No. They were in arena. Yeah. But AEK is an amazing club, amazing facilities, amazing possibilities to work. For Cyprus conditions, it's an amazing club, and I was good, but it was a difficult time because obviously there was a big change after in summer, and not only on the players, on the staff, everything. They changed everything, and they put out all the players, even with a contract and good players. So obviously Jari wanted to build his own team from the bottom, and he threw out everybody actually, more or less. And I was a victim also of this.
It's difficult because I look at AEK last season, and they promoted Gadala as head coach, because I think he was a youth coach at the time, and they brought in Miki Messina as well as his number 2. And Gadala was doing really well at the beginning of the season, very well. And then the results kind of dropped off. Then they brought in Bandia, and then in the summer they completely changed things. And I'm surprised with how well they've done with all the changes in one summer. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's sometimes for me there are too much changes in Cypriot teams. If something is not working, it's like something I don't like, that they're like, okay, now we're gonna rebuild everything again, and change in summer 15-20 players again. This is I'm happy we have this rule in winter to only change 4 players, so the team needs to be more or less together. Yeah, honestly, because sometimes I feel like if this rule would not exist, they would also change in winter the whole team. If things are not running, imagine now Nortos is now, if they could, they would change 10 players probably.
Oh my God, yeah. We've spoken about Nortos in great detail. And that's another. That's a soap opera, isn't it? It's a soap opera.
It's a circus. It's a circus. All it's missing is the music in the background.
Yeah, but that's why sometimes I miss the long-term strategy in Cyprus, like to build up something and then also have the patience to go through an unsuccessful period, and not to change everything. Sometimes you need to. It needs time to build something, and most of the time they don't give the players or the coaches this time.
Yeah, I mean, case in point, Garmiodis, Sofroni signing for Garmiodis as their 4th manager of the season.
Yeah, it cannot be the right. I mean, good for Sofronis, but to be honest, it cannot be a good. Sorry to say this, a management behind if they needed four coaches until now. I mean, then I don't know, but this is my opinion.
It's a perennial problem in Cyprus. It's been a problem for so many years. Like, if a manager lasts a season, they've done very well. It's a big problem here.
It doesn't matter how big the club is either. They don't care. It doesn't matter how big you are. They don't care. They'll just get rid of them. It doesn't matter. 2 or 3 bad results, he's gone.
It's not nice to see. Also for the players. I mean, I am 5 years in Cyprus now. I don't know how many coaches I had. Some names I even forgot because it's so many coaches. You change the gaming style all the time with a new coach, and it's difficult. It's difficult. Let's say like this.
So you've gone to Olympiacos, and I don't want to ask you questions that might make you feel uncomfortable about the club that you play for now, because it wouldn't be fair. But you got Serhidis as head coach. Before that was I forgot his bloody name now. Tasso, remind me. I forget the. Oh no,
Petrakis.
Petrakis. Yeah. But he didn't start the season. Petrakis. He had another head coach before that. If I'm not mistaken.
No, he was another head coach in the preseason. Yeah, to be honest, I left the team. I left the team in summer, and the preseason I was not there. So because of the coach, I didn't feel like you're gonna make a good season. And
really.
And then obviously it was not an easy summer for me, and the board and the management tried to convince me all the time. And then Petrakis came, and I called the long call with Petrakis, and I know him from Apollon. I mean, only a short period, but we had a good relationship. And then I decided, yes, let's give it another try. And I came back, but we were not too successful with Petrakis this time. And now I'm really, really, really happy with the new coach. I think with him we can make the turnaround, because he's bringing some young, fresh things, and he see many things on and off the pitch, and he can be a big coach in the future.
Well, he got Bayek promoted to the Bradathima, didn't he? And then he went to Apoel. So obviously he's got a good track record in Cyprus. So what do you think makes him so different to other coaches that are perhaps more old school in their mentality?
It's the communication with the players. I mean, he see many things off the pitch, and in Cyprus, it's important. It's not only on the pitch. Sometimes but he speak with all the players, and not only on the first day he know every name from player 1 to 23. He know the stories, he know the clubs. It's about details, and he knows these details. He knows he's young, he know how the player think. Also he tries to solve the problems off the pitch, and obviously there are some also in Olympiacos, and we speak with him about this. And I mean, he's nearly every day you have a one-by-one talk with him, because he's so communicative, and this is important. He gives every player a good feeling, and this is important. And next to this, he has a game plan. I mean, he is intelligent. He takes the quality of our squad and makes a game plan against every opponent. I mean, everybody was complaining when how we played against Paphos. I don't know if you saw the game. We were delaying, and it was not how we want to play. But if you think we play with tiki-taka against Paphos, you are wrong. I mean, we have to find our way. We have to take our time and stay compact, and that's what we did. And we draw, and that was important. And now step by step, we're gonna improve. And with this coach, I think we can climb up the table.
Yeah,
it must have been frustrating.
The last 3 results have been very, very positive for the team. Like 3 draws against teams that you would normally think Olympiacos would struggle with, just because of history and placement, and they managed to get draws from them. So he seems to be doing something correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, there's only 3 points, but psychological way, it was important to not lose, to not receive a lot of goals, and to have the belief that we can go back to winning against every team at the end.
We're talking about the Buffalo game and how Buffalo practically conceded an opportunity which you guys scored, and then a minute later your defender does exactly the same thing, and gives Buffalo the goal. But the game against Anorthosis, for me, I don't know how you didn't win that game. I really don't know. I think there was an incident where you should have had a penalty in the first half. Or was it? No, it was in the second half. It was in the second half.
Beginning of second half, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, at the end, it was a weird game because, actually, I didn't know if I should play fast now or take time because normally with a draw in the stadium of Anorthosis, you are happy because it's probably or maybe the most difficult stadium to win. But after this game, we were not even happy. We were one man more, and it was at the end. It's a draw is good against Anorthosis, but you're right. Maybe in this game we could have taken more.
I had that down as a win for Olympiacos, by the way.
He did put that one down. But the thing is, I think Olympiacos has got a history of producing some very good players. I mean, look, Sarfo was there and he's gone to Apoel and he's doing very well there. We know about Sarti and Zaha have gone to Omonia and so on and so forth. But I just think perhaps this summer, I don't know, the transfer activity wasn't as aggressive as maybe it should have been. I don't know, because obviously I'm not there. But when I look at the players that are left, like Sambinha and a few other players, it didn't seem like a squad that was strong enough to maybe challenge for top 8, I'd think.
Ed, to be honest, these were also my thoughts when I was about to leave Olympiacos in summer, because I knew the league this year is probably more strong than last year, more good teams. Top 6 now is crazy difficult because everybody has the target top 6. And now watch Omonia and Anorthosis, they will struggle, and this it's just difficult. Before top 6 for the big teams were easy to make. Now it's not easy anymore for no team. And but nevertheless we made then some good transfers. I think we have and now maybe in winter we can maybe 1, 2, 3 position again, and then we have the quality to not for top 6 obviously now this train left, but we have the quality and the goals to play higher and for sure to not get in trouble with relegation.
Absolutely. Well, I've got one more question about Olympiacos before I let Tasso ask you some questions. I've taken up way too much of your time here, but you've worked alongside the likes of Dubov and Girzi at Apollon. Now you've got Mr. Tornaridis, who has got his own book. He's released his own book. What is he like as a character? Because I've seen him on the Netcast Zone podcast, and you can tell he's a big character. He's a strong character. He's loud, but at the same time, he's got a sense of humor, but he's also a serious businessman. Do you see different characteristics from him, or does he never stay at the training ground? I don't know. What's he like?
No, sometimes he's more there. He has his restaurant. You can see him. You can contact him. Of course, he has a special life story. And if you go to his restaurant and speak with him, he will tell you his whole life. And this is very, very interesting, inspiring. And I mean, this is, for Olympiacos, he's very important. I think he's making everything to make the team successful. And but on the daily basis, we are not in contact with him. I mean, this is the coaching stuff, and so the influence on the pitch now is not too big. This was Kirsis was more in training and had more speeches in front of the team before or after big games, and Roman was the happy guy. I mean, we had many dinners where he wanted to make karaoke, and he was amazing funny. I remember him as a really, really, really nice guy. But also it was not too, I mean, I remember after the first game in Paphos, we draw against Anorthosis, and we made the karaoke night, and we were singing "We Are the Champions," and then we lost 5 games in a row. So, but for me, it's just amazing. To work with the special characters, big characters, and I try to learn from every of them.
Fantastic, brilliant. That's all. Any more questions, my friend?
I mean, you jumped on mine really. I was going to ask about
sorry.
Dornarides, but that's done. But yeah, so kind of I kind of did some reading, Google Translate on some of the Swiss websites that were talking about your summer movements. So I mean, one of the things that you mentioned in some of these interviews was Dornarides. So was he one of the main reasons why you ended up coming back?
Yeah, of course, he was the guy who called me many times and tried to convince me. Yeah, he was at the end. He and Petrakis convinced me to come back, and yeah, he was of course the main influence.
Okay. I mean, Stel, you took quite a few of the questions that I had written down here. So.
I didn't even know. You didn't even show me.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, normally I do my notes and I share them with Stel, but I did do that this time.
I hacked into your computer. Don't worry about
it.
Yeah,
exactly. No, I've just got some data here. I've worked out that Joel has 74 clean sheets in 342 appearances. That's over the whole career. So that's one clean sheet every 5 games.
That's pretty decent for Cyprus, man. That's pretty decent for Cyprus.
So overall, that's one clean sheet every 5 games. So
to be honest, this kind of statistic, you can. I mean, you have to see in which teams you play. I mean, if you play for Apoel, it's more easy to make a clean sheet. And also, I mean, last year I won this clean sheet trophy, but a clean sheet, yeah, I don't even would say that the guy with the most clean sheets is the best goalkeeper. It's just, of course, it can be a statistic which proves something, but a clean sheet is a team result. At the end, you have to watch the certain actions and the technique and how you saved or what did you save. And the clean sheet is, at the end, you can make a clean sheet without saving one ball. And then at the end, you are, okay, perfect goalkeeper, but you didn't do nothing. And you can make a clean sheet with saving 4 penalties. So you have to see all this in relation, I think.
Right. No. Okay. I'll keep that in mind for next time. I'll get some more detailed statistics.
Joel, I've got some quick fire questions. I'm going to try and make it a bit more fun now. Make it a bit more fun. Okay. Yeah. So you've played for all these teams in Cyprus. Okay. You've seen the training ground. You've seen the locker rooms. You've seen the players. Are there any players who because you're from the Switzerland, so you got some style, you know about how to dress and all that kind of stuff. Are there any players who came into the training ground and you thought, what are you wearing? What is this?
Okay, this is a simple question. But now he just opened on the weekend his boutique in Limassol is Serge Gakpe, but his style was out of this world. I mean, for me, I would not wear things like this, but obviously he's a fashion man, and now he started his fashion business, and he's good at it, and I think he is successful.
Excellent. Okay, so you mentioned the karaoke night with Mr. Dubov. Which player do you think has got the best singing voice?
Also easy question. I don't know if you remember Senek Volprecht from Paphos.
Yes.
He played after in Hermes and also
That's
Afna.
right.
Yeah, he had this guitar with him also in Corona times on Instagram and also on our barbecue nights. Yeah, he was the guy with a good voice.
Okay. And let me jump on that.
Go on.
What's your song at the karaoke, Joel?
Oof, then this is not even. It's a waste of time, this question, because you don't want to know and you don't want to listen. This is.
Oh no, I wasn't going to ask you to sing it. It's just
but. Okay, I would sing every song on a karaoke night, but it's better that this song stays there where he is and nobody knows about it.
Okay. So we spoke about the singing. What about the dancing? I know there's got to be some players who you look at, you think that's like Michael Jackson. Who do you think is a standout dancer from all the players you played with or against?
A dancer. This is difficult. Let me think. And nothing comes in my mind. I mean, we have, of course, now our African players in Olympiacos, they are like the dancers in our dressing room. They have moves I will never have. Unfortunately, we cannot put them online because we are on the last place in the table. But maybe if we win something, you will see some moves of them.
Brilliant. Okay, so one more question from me. Now it's coming near Christmas. Okay, it's coming near Christmas. I don't know if you guys do this in abroad. In England, we have something called a Secret Santa. So when you're at work, you draw a name out of a hat, and that's your work colleague, and you have to buy them a present, but they're not supposed to know who bought it for them. Yeah. So if you have to buy 5 players presents, so if you had to buy, I don't know, let's say Flori Dolmes, what would you buy Flori for Christmas?
Investment book.
Investment book, yeah.
How to save your money?
Do you spend a lot of money now? Does he spend a lot of money?
No. He's just, it's interesting to speak with him about investments. He's addicted to all the ideas, and that's why.
Oh, really? Because I know that he's good friends with Eric Botiak. I know they're good friends, and Eric's got his own investments at the moment, doesn't he?
I don't know Eric at all, but I know Florian is in the crypto space, and he's,
okay.
That's me also. So we were a lot speaking about this. So I know this would be a good Christmas present for him.
Okay. What would you buy Hector Juste for Christmas?
Hector Juste. I don't know. I think he's missing Spain a lot, so something from Spain. I don't know. I would maybe a dinner in a Spanish restaurant, probably.
Oh, paella. A lot of paella,
yeah? Yes.
Excellent. Okay, what would you buy Sofroni, Mr. Avusti, the gatto? What would you buy him?
I think a wellness treatment after an emotional game. Because he can be very, very emotional. Maybe sometimes it's good to have a good massage or a sauna after the game.
Health spa. Yes. With cucumbers on the eyes. Yeah, okay. That's pampering. Exactly. I love it. Tasso, you give a couple of names, mate. Come on. I don't need to sit there and do nothing. Come on. Think of 2 names.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. What about Mr. Dornaridis? What did you get him? Just in case he's listening, make sure it's not what you're getting him.
He has enough money to buy his own.
He has everything. He doesn't need anything. He has enough money. He doesn't need anything.
I don't know. Difficult to say. No, it's just. I don't know.
Okay. Or what about Guerrier?
Guerrier. This guy, I don't know. He has so many fashion clothes. I don't know if I should just
buy him a new wardrobe.
Buy him one T-shirt without a big label on it. It's just like no label, no D-squared, no nothing. This would be like something nice for him to.
Brilliant. Wonderful. Well, Joel, look. Thank you so much for joining us. We didn't mention the goal against Salamina. We mentioned it before the show, but we're not going to talk about that goal against Salamina because
it's better.
You know, when we saw it, we started laughing, not because you conceded it, but it's almost as if like the cross came in and it's like you didn't know whether to come, whether not to come. I think it was a great pass, to be honest. It was actually a good ball. I didn't even said it. It was a good ball. It was just one of those things, and the defense were just like statues. And I think that was the goal that kind of changed your season, because since then you guys have been playing well. So maybe that did you a favor.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, because it was in the end of the game. But yeah, of course, this is a goal where I am not proud of, but this is the football. This is the game. Game is about mistakes and wrong decisions, and we analyze this. It was that, yeah, and fortunately, I didn't had many goals in the last 2 years like this, and I try to keep this for the future.
Well, it seems that you're one of the most reliable goalkeepers to have played in Cyprus. Otherwise, you wouldn't have joined so many big clubs. So clearly, you've got the ability. What do you want to do when you retire, Joel? Because I know you've been studying, and you've now got was it a degree that you have, or a qualification?
Yeah, it's just a degree. It's football management. This I studied the last 1.5 years, but I always made something next to football: sports marketing, sports management, football management. Now I started with the goalkeeper coach license in Switzerland. So the detailed plan is not there, but obviously it will be something with football or close to football, but from another perspective. And when this step comes, I don't know, but I want to be prepared. And as a footballer, you have enough time to do something else. If you, okay, I have 2 kids. This takes a lot of time, but if you are not prepared on your football end as a football player, then it's not good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm into sports marketing myself, so maybe you and I will do some business in the future, but we'll discuss that another time.
Why not? I'm open for everything. Yeah, networking is everything, so that's good.
Absolutely. Well, Joel, thank you so much for your time. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll keep in touch, and hopefully you can come back on again, and we'll talk about other things as well, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for the talk, guys.
Anytime. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate it.
Okay.
That's all. Is anything else you'd like to add?
Just now again, just extending the thanks. It was great to have you on. Very, very, very informative. I learned a lot, because obviously I'm a bit further outside the circle. I'm an engineer, so I don't really get involved too much on the internal and the inside football stuff. So it was very, very, very
this is
informative for me.
This is Tasso's 4th podcast.
Okay.
So he's learning how to be a journalist now.
Yeah.
Good.
Wonderful.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's it for another episode of This Is Mappa. We'll be back very, very soon, because we're going to do our review tomorrow. So that's it.
Yeah, got to
Take care,
record
boys and
that as
girls.
well.
There you go. Bye, everyone.
Bye.